What's happening, BABSCon? How you guys doing? I just set my timer for 30 minutes. Originally my panel was going to be for 30 minutes long, but since it did not get approved, I'm going to have to settle with this. This is the first ever digital event, just like Nintendo did with that one time at E3, I believe. But anyway, this is a digital panel, which means it's exclusive only to YouTube, but is premiering during the BABSCon weekend because it is supposedly how it was supposed to play out. Now, why am I making a panel even though it did not get approved? Okay, this is purely pre-recorded. This is just like a YouTube video. You know, there's no one here. I'm not talking to anybody. I'm just straight up talking to the camera, to you guys, to you watching on YouTube. This is literally another video. Why am I doing this? Because what I'm going to tell you guys is something I've been needing to tell you guys for the longest time, and I thought BABSCon was the perfect opportunity. Turns out it isn't. I have nothing against BABSCon, and I absolutely love it so far. But I do have to get this message across about how to make your videos top 10 worthy. Now, the reason I chose that name is because it's associated with WatchPony. We're associated with top 10 lists, and people all the time want to be in the top 10. Why do people want to be in my top 10 lists? Is it because of fame? Is it because they want publicity? Is it because they want more subscribers? Or is it because they want to be recognized for all the hard work that they put into these projects? If it is for any of those reasons, that's completely fine. But don't think that going to specific panels that teach you how to be top 10 worthy is going to be the formula for success. No, the formula for success and the only true way to be in our top 10s is to make good content. Not just good content, but content you are proud of making. Content you are proud to claim as your own. Content you have worked hard on, that you've put your heart into, and that you could safely say that you are proud of it. If you make content like that, then you're home free. You're bound to be on one of my top 10 lists of any category, as long as it has these three characteristics. These three things I'm telling you right now is the secret to a successful artistic project. It doesn't matter if you're a musician, doesn't matter if you're an editor, an animator, a sketch artist, a writer writing a fic. It doesn't matter, whatever that is. When it comes to creative people and the artistic talent, most of it is natural, but a lot of it comes from work, from discipline. And the other portion, I believe, has to deal with these three core things. Without any of these three things that I'm going to mention right now, a lot of the artistic things that we know of usually don't end up on par as the original things that include all three of these things. So what I'm telling you is something that is very important, not just for winning on YouTube, if that's what you want to do. If you want to make YouTube your career, this is very useful. But this is also useful for writing a creative story that you want to have published one day, or for creating an indie film that you want to submit to a film festival if you're a young director. This is great advice for anyone who wants to take the artistic occupations and those who just want a little more creativity. How to prevent writer's block or artistic block. It helps with all of that. And I wouldn't be standing here in front of a camera with no panel saying otherwise. So obviously, since this is not a real panel, there's no live Q&A, so I'm obviously not going to be doing that. If you do have a question though, I'll try my best to answer it in the comment section below. Please be easy on me though. I mean, look at these eyes. I am seriously tired. But without further ado, the 3 secrets I am telling you is completeness, personality, and passion. Remember that. Complete, personal, and passionate. Those are the 3 characteristics. Every video, every animation, every song you make has to have these 3 characteristics. And I'll explain to you why. Let's start with the first, complete. Your work has to be complete. Okay? I've been acting for 2 years, and I've been studying acting for easily more than that. For like 3 years now, I believe. And one of the things that my acting teacher once told me is that there's no such thing as good or bad acting. Only complete and incomplete acting. Complete acting is full. It moves you. It drives you to believe that this guy is the real deal. Incomplete acting means that it's obviously fake, and you could obviously tell this guy's an amateur. Complete work looks professional, incomplete work looks amateur. That applies to animation, applies to editing, applies to music especially. If you don't master your songs, it's gonna sound amateur because it's incomplete. Not because it's a bad song, not because the drums don't sound right, not because the lyrics are incorrect. It's because you didn't sing it right. You didn't sing it completely. If you were to take extra steps and say, you know, I need to re-record that because my singing was off, I did not think it was that good, then do it. Don't think that just because you're the creator that you spotted that mistake and you think no one else is going to spot it. No, everyone's going to spot that mistake. Okay, people have gotten extremely nitpicky, and I personally like to blame CinemaSins for that. Analyzers, reviewers, and critics are getting so anal now. They're getting so detailed when it comes to every little thing that it's literally impossible now. It used to be maybe back then, but not anymore. You have to be complete and you have to be satisfied with your own work. If your video makes you cringe, it's gonna make other people cringe. Okay? You have to be complete. It doesn't matter if you're correct or incorrect. It doesn't matter if your video is amazing, is awesome, or awful. If your video is awful, I still love it because it went all out. Okay? A video that's awesome would be like Lullaby for a Princess. Entirely dramatic. Moves you because it was complete in its work, in the story that it's trying to tell, that Celestia and Luna have a tough history. You go the opposite side of the spectrum, and a video like Smile HD moves you, and it moves you to an entirely different direction. It moves you to the point of where you feel sick, of where you're scared, of where you're shocked by how much blood and violence is in that video. And it moves you, and you're left speechless. And that is the intention of that video. Both of those videos are incredibly made, and that's because they're both complete, even though one could be praised and one will be hated. It's better to be hated and to be loved than to be in the middle where it doesn't even matter. Meh. I don't know. Cringe. That's the middle. When something's not great and something's not terrible. It's cringe often. Oftentimes it's always cringe that ends up in the middle there. And it's not good, but it's not bad. You don't really want to root for it, but at the same time, you don't think it's entirely bad. You see potential in it, but you see that the creator got lazy and didn't want to do the extra work, didn't want to put the extra mile, and just submitted it incomplete. That's the first step you need to get over. You have to You have to be passionate about your work. We're going to get to passion later, but passion relates to completeness. The next thing we have to talk about is personality. I cannot emphasize enough how important it is to be personal with your content. Whether you're an animator, whether you're a writer, or whether you're a musician, yourself, your body, your personality, it translates into your work. If you're a writer and you've been writing for a long time and you wrote multiple books, people can tell your writing style, especially talented readers. If you're an animator and you're given the same amount of puppet rigs or the same source of puppet rigs, don't get me started, SFM animators, they all use the same puppet rigs. They all use the same models. And yet you can tell that this animator animates differently from the other one. Each animator has their own style of animating. It relates to their personality, how they have learned, what they like about the program. Do some people like to add extra bounce? Do some people like 60 frames a second? It all translates to the personal choices you make. So when you're an animator and you make an artistic style, you can tell something's animated differently when it comes from Animated James to Crown Prince. They both have extremely different animation styles. And it comes down to their personality, not because of their talent. Because both parties are very talented, yet they both look extremely different. And that applies to music especially. There's no talent. Artists aren't really judged by their talent. People don't say yes or no to music or to a band because they don't have talent. It's because they don't like their music, which is different taste, which makes sense, and it is completely natural. You know, obviously a punk rocker is not going to like J-pop, okay? But does that mean the J-pop band was bad? No, by all means, no. It just means that it wasn't ideal for that one person. Personality plays an important role in YouTube especially, okay? With so many channels doing the same thing, so many animators animating ponies, so many gamers doing Let's Plays, so many reviewers doing unboxing videos. It's astounding how big it has gotten. You are in competition with some of the biggest YouTubers out there if you want to be a professional YouTuber. If you're doing this for a hobby, you probably don't need to put so much effort into it. But that doesn't mean you have to put less of yourself into your content and whatever you make. Because whatever you make, if you put heart into it, if you put your personality, and if you put yourself, invest yourself into your work, it will transcribe into whatever it is. I gotta check my time here so I can be sure I don't know. We're good on time. So, think about it this way. Let's start with Let's Players, okay? Markiplier, PewDiePie, Jacksepticeye, Dashi, what do they got? What do they all have? They have quite literally nothing in common except that they play games. We all know that Markiplier has this awesome voice, but we all know that Jacksepticeye talks in a really funny voice and tends to make more jokes or something. Why do you watch those guys? What makes you want to watch Markiplier over PewDiePie? Or what makes you want to watch Rooster Teeth over Tobuscus? Why? Is it because of the games they play? No. You don't love Markiplier because he plays Five Nights at Freddy's. No, Five Nights at Freddy's became famous thanks to Markiplier. No, you watch Markiplier play Five Nights at Freddy's because you like Markiplier. You don't watch Markiplier play games because of the games, maybe at first, but you stay for the personality, you stay for the Markiplier. That's his formula for success, is becoming incredibly personal with you guys. That's why whenever people make vlogs, why do you think they get so many views? Because people want to connect with that person. They want to connect with the channel. They want to connect with the creator. People want to get to know, personalize, and relate with the people that they idolize. Actors who are being interviewed behind the scenes, musicians who are being interviewed by I don't know, whoever interviews artists. That's another thing I have to point out is artists, musicians. Why do you think people spend so much money sometimes, traveling far distances, and go so far to see their favorite artist play live in a concert? The reason? It's because they're singing with their passion, with their personality, with their heart. When they sing with their heart and they sing it live, or when they play those instruments, or when they're mixing that set in a sea full of ravers and full of crowds, and that DJ is just standing up at the top of the podium, just with his hands up, just embracing all of the energy that he has for that entire dance floor. That's because that's him. That's because she's her. That's because these musicians put so much passion into what they make that it literally transcribes whenever they play anything. You could see anyone play a guitar, but when you see your favorite artist play the guitar, you want to whoop for that guy. You're moved by that guy or that girl. You're moved by that guitarist because that's someone you care about. You care about. It really is. You're falling in love with a stranger, essentially. And that's why personality is so important. It entitles to your passion, which is the third one. Back again to the musicians. Okay, here's an example. Why do you think there's a lot more people who would go watch Adele sing live or Sia sing live, but not so much for like Ariana Grande? Don't get me wrong, Ariana Grande is a very talented girl. She could sing her heart out. But if she doesn't have the soul or that original sound that only Adele can sing, that only Sia can sing, then she hasn't reached that level yet. The reason those two singers, or those kind of singers, are so praised and so loved and are just being pushed to so far so people could see them live is because they sing with passion. Passion is connected to your personality. Passion is the amount of effort that you put into your projects, that you put into your music. It's obvious that Adele and Sia put a ton of passion into their music because you can hear it. You can hear the amount of passion in their voices, in the lyrics that they write. And that transcribes to anything. When you put passion into anything, that's the reason it exists. Think about it. I mean, why are we doing this? You at BABSCon, why are you here? You watching this online, why are you watching this? You could easily just click away and watch a cat video. It'll get you more entertained. Why do you have to listen to me? I mean, why am I important? You know, well, why am I wearing this shirt? Daft Pony, why? What's the point? What's the point of being a brony? Honestly, what's the point? There is no point to any of this, okay? My Little Pony is a show that's copyrighted by Hasbro. They're not paying us anything for this, yet here we are as loyal fans spending $200 on cosplay, spending hours and hours animating, all this time and effort being put into songs that hardly get any views, and we have channels that take forever to get to a subscriber level that we find satisfactory. We analyze the living hell out of these episodes, and for what? Bragging rights? It's obvious we don't do it for the money. So why are we doing this? Why are we investing so much time, money, effort, and passion into this? The answer is passion. Because we're passionate about the show. Why are we passionate about the show? That purely depends on you. You know, some people have a simple answer. For me, it's because the show is good. That's all you need to know. Why am I doing this? Why am I standing here at 1 a.m. in my own room shouting this to you guys, even though I recorded this 3 times because it failed the first 2 times, yet I want to get this uploaded before I go to BABSCon all the way in San Francisco where it's 5 hours away from me? Why am I doing this? Because it's an awesome show. It's good. I like the show. That's the only reason. Some people need a more complicated explanation. But in all honesty, the more simple, the better. Because in all honesty, with passion, you don't need reason to do anything. That's what makes it beautiful. When you're passionate about something, you don't need a reason. Well, why does this guy save up his entire life to buy a boat when boats are expensive? Why? Because he loves boating. Why did this woman go so far to come up with a loan and invest in a bank so that she could buy this spot so she could build up her own bakery? Why? Because she loves baking. Well, why do these students spend so long studying psychology and getting their degrees and going through tons of student debt and loans and stuff and financial aid and all this stress? Why are they doing that? Because they love psychology. That's really it. Some of the most simple reasons are reason enough to love something. Love something so far that you're willing to do amounts and amounts of work, amount of effort, amounts and tons of yourself. You invest yourself into your passion. And you don't do it expecting something in return. That's something a job would do. Okay? Being passionate about something means you would do it for free. So it's obvious we're doing this for free. We would gladly do it for free. Why? Because we love this show. Because I love you guys, the viewers. Because I love this convention. Why you guys go so far to go here just so you could conversate for friends' sake reasons. You guys aren't doing this for really anything. And yet you guys love it to pieces. And for 5 years this thing has been going on. I am amazed at how much passion is in this fandom. I see it all the time. And believe me, I'm the WatchPony. I should know. I see everything. These bags under my eyes are proof. How much time do I have left? Perfect, I still got 5 minutes left. That's good, because I have just one good thing I need to point out about passion, personality, and completeness. It doesn't apply to just YouTube. It doesn't apply to only the Brony fandom. In fact, it doesn't even apply to just fan-made works. We're passionate people, and one of the most obvious reasons why we're passionate is because we're a fan base. Fans depend on love. We are seriously passionate people because we're part of a fan base. But you don't have to be a part of a fan base to be passionate. In fact, being passionate and being personal and being complete are things you should do in your everyday life. You see it in examples all the time, but you just never notice. Some people may have noticed, and I may have, I'm going to have to say, go ahead, call me out on this. But I'm talking to those who don't. Ever notice that the first Jurassic Park was great, but then after every sequel, it slowly starts to go down and down? It's not because Jurassic Park is bad. It's not because the acting has gotten worse. It's not because the actors lost their spark. It's because the first time they did Jurassic Park, they were passionate about it. They were passionate about making this movie where dinosaurs are coming back to life. And then, the little Universal Studios decides to get a little bit greedy and decides to make a little bit of extra money off of some sequels that don't add up to par. The passion seems to disappear. Passion disappears over time, sometimes faster than others. And if you don't believe me, just look at Five Nights at Freddy's. Back then, there were devoted fans that would argue the living hell out of the comments section, would animate tons and tons of Gmods, and make copies upon copies of fan-made games. It was seriously a huge fandom. And now it's almost gone. There's hardly anything FNAF anymore. Obviously, this isn't the case with My Little Pony. We've lasted for 5 years. My Little Pony is like almost becoming a style and less of a trend like FNAF was. And it's purely because of passion and how much we're willing to go so far as to not prove our show is better, but to show how we can get involved. We want to take part in this. We want to be part of something. A lot of people like to think that being part of the Brony fandom is a great way of feeling accepted in a situation that would otherwise be strange to another audience. You know, if you like My Little Pony, that's not really something you should be saying to this girl you met on a first date. But if you meet a girl in BABSCon, then that's a great thing to bring up in your first date. So with passion comes acceptance, but that's because the people who are here are free. They have no bounds. They don't put on a fake facade. Putting on a facade is it's an irritating way to gain fame. A lot of celebrities do it, and a lot of them end up in shambles. And the Brony fandom is the one place where I truly do not like it. And I will admit, sometimes I do see it. But I'm telling you, if you try to copy someone and try to copy their method for fame, I'm pretty sure you're going to fail. You are going to fail. Okay? Take, for example, Duck Dynasty. Okay? Duck Dynasty and their family of guys have been, I'll be honest, I like that show. It was a good show. I liked it at first. It was great. I thought it was hilarious, the way they were all doing their shenanigans and everything. But then as time went on and seasons drew and drew, the family's members have started to get a little testy. They've been getting impatient. They've been demanding more money from the studios. And then there was that whole racial expose that happened with one of the members. And then after that, they became incredibly saturated with tons of marketing, with tons of product placement. It was ridiculous, to the point where I was like, no, these are not the people I liked. These aren't the people that I watched way back when I first discovered this show. This is not like them at all. That's when you realize, and you start to assume, that they've been putting on a fake personality this whole time. Why do you think we hate reality stars? A lot of people do not like the Kardashians. A lot of people do not like the Jersey Shore people. Why? Because they feel fake. They're not sincere. And when they make that character, when they play that role, and they make millions of dollars off of it, it angers us. And that's why a lot of people do not like that. I'm not applying this to everybody, because there's quite a few people that do love the Kardashians still. But I'm talking about in general. In reality, you just have to play it simple. Being a part of this fandom is a great exercise for acceptance, for exercising those three characteristics. Because here, whether you get a lot of troll comments or not, in general, people are going to be there to help you. And that's the beauty of this fandom, is that it's a little more kid-friendly for the real world. But that doesn't mean you're special, okay? No one is special. You're not special, I'm not special. So why are you watching me instead of me watching you? Ask yourself that. Why are you watching me? Why are you idolizing me? Why are you taking my advice? Shouldn't I be taking your advice? What makes me higher than you? I'm not any special than you. You're not any special than me. So why are we idolizing people? That's what you have to figure out. Okay, none of us are special. Some of us may be naturally be more talented. Some of us may have a more likable personality than another. Either way, there's tons of factors that determine whether you like this person or whether you don't like a person. But you have to figure that out for yourself. Find out what makes you special. Find out what you're talented in, and find out what you love. Find your passion. Find things that you will get involved in, that you would love to complete. And most of all, stay true to yourself. Don't try to be someone else. And don't compare yourself to someone else. Because frankly, that just always brings you down. And trust me, I know. I've been acting for 2 years and I still haven't done anything noteworthy yet. And I'll be honest, there's some times where I feel like I want to give up. But that's just all the more reason why I have to keep going. Why I have to keep finding that one thing that makes me special. Is ponies the thing that makes me special? I don't know. I like to think it is. But then again, who knows? Maybe this video won't get so many views, but I won't care. Because I'm just going to keep going at it. Going. I'm just going to keep going. The word go is in my name, Rodrigo. Maybe that's why I chose the arrow. Ever wondered the white arrow from WatchPony.com? It's because it's a symbol to keep going. Don't stop. Just keep going. Go that direction. The arrows, they're pointing everywhere. I don't care what direction it's going, just keep going. It doesn't matter what direction you're going. As long as you don't stop, you're in the clear. A body that's in motion stays in motion. A creative mind that stays creative will continue to stay creative and will no longer receive any more writer's block. If you stop being creative, then it's going to take a while for you to get that creativeness back. That's why you shouldn't stop being creative. You shouldn't stop being yourself, and you shouldn't stop going. After all, the name of the song is Let It Go, not Let It Stop. Alright, thank you everybody. Thank you so much for watching this virtual panel. Thank you BABSCon for hosting it somewhat. And yes, obviously this is the time where I would do a quick Q&A, but since there's no one here, just leave your question in the comment section below. I'll try my best to answer them all. But if you're in the convention itself, feel free to spot me in person and I'll gladly answer your question in person with you guys, along with the rest of my team. So I have to say, for my very first panel, which is not even real, I have to say it was a true honor speaking with you guys. And I just want to wish you all good night. All right? You may now look away.